What's up, guys? This is the third episode of our NFL show. For all y'all that follow, y'all know we give these plays out on Thursday usually, but Bernsey and I were both busy this week. I mean, we had a lot going on basically, and so we're recording this pretty late, later than usual. So there's less likely to be a chance of beating the line, but the silver lining is the fact that we get to see line movement and we get to take that into consideration in our capping. So, there's some positives and negatives in that situation. For new people who are coming into the show, uh, the premise of the show is pretty simple. We want to give free picks, of course, but we also want to be able to provide a platform for to showcase our betting personalities. And basically, what that means is that we both look at different things in our handicapping, and the different things that we look at make up our make up our betting personalities. That being said, we want to be able to provide a platform for cappers to be able to understand different statistics and just be able to use everything um, that we say in this show as potential insight for themselves, and even people that just normal betters should be able to find plays in our analysis. That being said, Burns, do you have anything to say?
No, let's get right into it.
All right, first play of the game today, and I say today because we're literally recording this Sunday. Sunday.
1 a.m. for me, what, midnight for you? So it's actually
Yeah,
it
midnight
just
for me.
became today for you.
Yeah, literally on the dot. Dolphins minus 10.5 versus Bengals. 42 is the total. You got anything for me, Brenzy?
So I think we know the Bengals team is an absolute disaster without Joe Burrow. He was really the only shining hope they had in that team since they're in at the beginning of a rebuild. On the other hand, the Dolphins just with Tua, they really don't look good at all. Their defense is, of course, still elite. Tua doesn't really do have anything to do with that, but their
Right.
offense just I I don't really even think he's thrown for above 150 yards in any of his games yet. So just because that line is 10.5, I don't even know if I would trust a 10 if you bought down for the hook. So
Right.
this is just a game I'm just fully staying away from.
That's actually the same situation I'm in here, because I do also think that the Bengals are just a trash can team. They're burning fire, whereas the Dolphins, they have some silver linings to their team, but I can't trust their offense to basically be able to put 10.5 up. I would trust the 10 a little bit more. I think 10 is a key number. I think it's a key margin that people win by. I don't trust that 10.5, even
Definitely a
if we
very
have,
good chance of a push though if you take that
right,
-10.
at minus 10, I definitely think it could be a push. And so I don't think it's still worth a play just because there's a look. You're first of all buying down to the 10. And then on top of that, you're potentially pushing there. I just don't think it's worth the risks there. So I actually lean the Dolphins here just because, if there's line movement, goes down to 10 or something, then it might be a play for me. But again, with the two offenses, I think the Dolphins have a decent defense, but with the two offenses, just not being able to put up points. I actually like the under here. I'm not playing it. I'm still leaning it. I still want to take a little bit more time into looking into it. But I definitely do lean the under. I have a trend on the under. My systems point toward the under. So I lean the under here. Might be a play by game time. But as far as the spread goes, I'm just leaning the Dolphins. There's just not much going on for me to take the 10.5. And if it goes down to 10, I'd really have to give it a thought again. But yeah, I lean the Dolphins here and lean the under as of right now.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that about that under, just because the Bengals, I really don't know if they could even put up more than 10 points against this defense as long
Right,
as Tua or Fitzpatrick, whoever's playing, doesn't turn the ball over in their own, like within their own, they're in their own territory, like within their
right.
40, 30 yards. I really don't think the Bengals could really score at all. So I'm going to be leaning the under as well for right now.
Yeah, Vegas is projecting this pretty low for the Bengals. They're projecting 16 points. Um,
I would say even lower, honestly, and that's why I
yeah,
like it.
honestly, yeah. I don't think they necessarily hit 16 there. They're projecting 26 for the Dolphins. I think that's roughly a fair estimate. 26 might be a difficult number for them to get, but I definitely think they could get it. Um, Next game, Titans minus 4 versus the Browns, 53 total. You got anything?
Yeah, two very good teams. Very heavy run games on both these teams, and then have their quarterbacks do what they need to do. It's personally my favorite style of game to watch, the heavy run game, and then just throw whenever you need to for like about 10 yards, 15 yards, just boom, boom, boom.
Mhm.
Um, with that said, I'm very high on both of these teams. Titans are my underdog pick to win the Super Bowl currently, but it's just again both of these teams. It's so close, and each team could either score a lot or their defenses could take over. So I really don't think I could play anything in this game as of right now.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't even have a lean on it on any sides, and I usually do. Um, Man, I have spreads for the Titans, but my system shows the Browns. I don't have any. I have trends on the Titans. Sorry, not spreads. I have trends on the Titans, but my system shows Browns. I have the over on my system, but I mean, my system hasn't been the best when it comes to totals. Um, I mean, the line movement is towards the Browns and under, but they're very slight line movements, so I wouldn't even take those into consideration for this game particularly. I mean, I just have nothing here. Like you said, they're both fairly phenomenal teams. I think it'll be a fun game to watch, is what it's going to be. And you don't have to bet every game. So for me, this is just going to be a game I'm going to be tuning into and seeing how it plays out. But yeah, I mean, you got it right on the money. There's two good teams that, are going to fight hard. They could have their defenses take over. They could potentially have their offenses take over. I don't have a side. I'm not going to force anything here.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, if I was going to go anything, I would think about taking the Titans spread, but I'm definitely not playing. This is the one game I know I definitely will not be taking anything tomorrow.
right. I mean, there's just no point. You don't have to force anything. And I mean, even the line movements are so slight. I
Yeah,
think
with
Vegas
with
is lines on the money too.
yeah, with my betting style lately, since I had that massive loss of like 20 units last week, I've just
Yeah,
been being extremely picky with things. It's been working out so far, so yeah, definitely no need to push this game in.
yeah, no, not at all. Um, Next game, Bears Lions -3, 44.5. What do you got here?
Huge Trubisky guy. I honestly think he performed better than what the stats showed on this past Monday night against the Packers. I think they needed to fix their play calling a little bit, like that 40-yard pass downfield. That's just not what Mitch does well.
Right.
He gets a few yards at a time. Maybe use Montgomery, get a few yards passes occasionally, get it downfield a little bit. It's just since it was his first week back against a decent defense, I would say for the Packers.
Right.
We know the Lions have had extreme issues. So as of right now, I would be leaning the Bears -3. I do like that spread,
Hmm.
but I would also think about the team total for the Bears, which lays at 24 currently right now. Um, I I initially kind of did think the over, but I think the Lions have too many injuries. Galladay's still out. I believe Marvin Jones is out now. I just checked, and Swift is doubtful again. And with those guys out, and now that Marvin Jones is out, they really just had no offense at all. So that's why I'm probably going to be taking both the Bears team total over and the Bears -3 tomorrow or today.
Okay. I actually go opposite with you. And I honestly, the injuries were a huge reason why I actually leaned the Lions. But I was really considering taking the Lions. I just don't think the Bears hold up to par. Um, I just don't see much in them. Trubisky is just I feel like he's either going to go off or not.
Better
And
than
I'm
once.
oh, I think everybody's better than Wentz at this point, bro. Um, no, I think he either goes off or not, and I think there's more chance he doesn't. I've I have trends indicating the lines. My system on the spread indicates the lines, and my system has been killing it on the spread. So that being said, I mean I'm going to give it a little bit more weight. Um, but at the same time, it's the injuries that kind of irk me there, or that kind of put me off there. So I'm leaning them right now. You can probably expect this to become a play by tomorrow's time.
The
Um,
Lions.
yeah, probably. I probably will make it a play by tomorrow's time, but I really want to, especially with Swift, I want to see if he's coming back in or not. I mean, like you said, he's questionable. So there's some things that I still want to keep looking into. But of course, like I said, if you or I don't think I mentioned this in this episode so far, but if you follow me or Bernsey, any leans that become plays, of course, we'll tweet about them, and so you'll be able to keep up with them, and you'll be able to know to take them as well. But yeah, for right now, I'm thinking just a lean right here. Um, as far as the total goes, I don't have a side on the total, but I do want to note there's been some decent line movement towards the under. I think it was by a point. So, I mean, that's fairly indicative towards the under. If that's the case, and
Yeah, I
usually,
could definitely see how a lot of the public is on the under in this scenario just because the Lions can't put up points. And of
right,
course, the Bears have one of the better defenses in the league. And then you think at the same point, Trubisky's also not expected to put up points with the horrible offense they've had this season.
right, yeah, you don't know what's going to happen in this situation. I do want to note that if it does hit under, it's more probable that the Lions cover. Usually with the unders, you want to take the dogs, and with the overs, you want to take the favorites. So if you're thinking under, then you might want to consider lines as a straight play right now. But right now, I'm currently leaning it. Um, Next play on the card: Colts Texans -3 Colts versus the Texans, 50.5 total. What do you have here?
Initially just looking at it, I really like the over. Colts offense has been very good. I think Philip Rivers has been pretty good in most of his games. He
Right.
has, I wouldn't say he's really had like a horrible game yet. The only times he's really thrown a bunch of interceptions is when he needs to because they're down 3 touchdowns just
Yeah.
because the defense dies or they have like a quick turnover. Like last week, they were down like 28 points to the Titans at one point.
Right.
And then on the other side of it, the Texans' offense has been pretty good. Their defense is very weak, especially their pass. Um, I think both teams are going to put up a good amount of points, and I like the over here.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat as you. I have trends that point towards the over. My system points towards the over. The only issue is the line movement has shown the under, but I mean, frankly, I think it's by half a point. So I'm not going to give it too much weight just yet, but I like the over here, and I've actually already played it. Um, yeah, I frankly think that the Colts and Texans both have pretty powerful offenses. My only concern is, Will Fuller not being able to play for the Texans this week, and I saw this like little statistic. It was like advanced statistics about Deshaun Watson and how he fares without Will Fuller on the field, and it was kind of it was um, I mean it wasn't pretty. Um, I forgot what word I was going to say, but it wasn't pretty, and so I hope Deshaun Watson can show out without Will Fuller, but that is something to take into consideration. Without Will Fuller on the
Oh,
field, not
true.
too well.
I think he still does,
But I
though.
still think the over comes or over hits just because, like you said, the Colts have a pretty nice offense there, and Philip Rivers hasn't done too bad. I think he's played pretty well for what he's been given. Um, I think the over hits here, and so I've already played it. It's an official play. Next game, Vikings Jaguars. Vikings -10, total 51. What do you got?
The Jaguars have actually been very surprising me lately. If you've seen these last few episodes, I always explain that I'm a big Jaguars fan, so
Yeah,
I, I've I've been pretty good with my bets with them so far this season.
all right.
Um, I can't believe that over under is 51. That's insane to me.
The total
Um,
51. Yeah.
yeah, I just need to make sure if Minshew's coming back because I know Minshew was cleared to play. Yep, Michael Lennon should be starting tomorrow for the Jaguars, which is very concerning if Minshew's healthy. It's a very weird decision to me. Um, but in that case, I really can't bet anything on this game. The Jaguars have been pretty close the last few weeks.
All right.
I I really don't think they'll be that far behind the Vikings. It could be
Mhm.
within 10, but I also don't want to bet for the Jaguars against the Vikings just because there is the potential to get blown out. And then
Right.
of course the
Yeah.
over and under sticks out to me.
What do you? You cut off on that last part. The over under sticks out to you.
Uh, the over under does not stick out to me
Oh,
at
it does
all.
not. Okay. Yeah. No. For me, I'm just leaning on this game. I have trends that point towards the under, and then I have trends that point towards the over. or I mean, I have a system that points towards the over, and then I have trends that point towards the Viking, and then my system points towards the Jaguars. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle right here, throughout my trends and systems. But right now, I'm actually gonna agree with my trend, or I'm gonna agree with the Vikings. That comes out of my trends. I agree with those trends a little bit more than I do my system, and then or my systems, and then I agree with the over instead of the under, and so I'm leaning both of them. I'm hoping for some line movement. The only concern to me is that the two ways I lean are also the same ways the line has been moving towards. So I don't know if I'm gonna get better lines. Say around game time. I mean, most line changes come around game time. So, I mean, there's some indication that we get from the line movement right now, but not that much. And so I'm just hoping that, it changes by tomorrow morning and I get a better number on the over or a better number on the Vikings. Worst case, I might play these live if the Jaguars go out and score first or something. I probably will play them live. But yeah,
Yeah,
right now I'm leaning Vikings and over.
Jaguars. If the Jaguars do put up points early, I do think the Vikings are a very good live bet.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm thinking for this game.
I,
Or if like the
I
first
just
quarter goes scoreless, I definitely know. I feel like the Vikings will come out at least in that second half and put up a phenomenal amount of points. Uh,
right. It's just initially the -10 and +10. It
right,
just
yeah, it's just not pretty numbers.
both ways.
You cut off again.
I was just saying the -10 and +10 is just a little bit too big for me before the game
Yeah,
starts.
I feel that. All right, next game, Raiders Jets -7.5, 46.5 is the total. What do you got here?
Raiders are a very good team. The Jets of course, are disgustingly bad. Um, Now that Darnold's back, I really don't think the Jets are that bad. I mean, okay, let me change my wording on that. They're very bad, but I don't think they're one of the worst.
Right,
Worst 0 and what are they? 0 and 10, 0 and 11.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. I don't think they're one of the worst teams in history.
Yeah,
Um, the offensive weapons aren't too bad. I don't think Sam Darnold's really that bad. The coaching is atrocious, of course.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Um, so the common thing to me here may be the over, actually.
Okay.
I might definitely think about taking that over 46.5. Um, what's 47 as a key number in 46? There seem like I think
Let's
47 is a
look up.
pretty common NFL number.
Right, let's I'll look it up right now.
But I think Derek Carr and all them are going to have a very good game after they got disgraced by the Falcons last week. And I think the Jets can put up points. The Raiders don't have a bad defense at all, but I think the Jets have been way underperforming expectations. I mean, they've had some games this season where they're able to put up 20 points. I know against the Patriots, they put up about 30. Um, very hard team to read. Of course, they're just going for Trevor at this point, but I do think they can get the over.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. Last week against the Dolphins, 3 points, but then against the Chargers and Patriots, they put up 27 and 28.
right. So here are the over unders right here, or yeah, basically the most probable total finishes. So you're
47.
seeing 47 comes way before 46. I haven't seen 46 yet as I've been scrolling down.
Yeah, 47's
46 is right here at 137 games finished at 46, and
yeah,
47
47
has
definitely makes a lot of sense just because that's usually the what would that be? Usually 24.
and 23. Yeah, and
Yeah,
those are two key numbers. 24 is the let me pull that up. 24 is the second most points scored, and 23 is the fifth most points scored. So those are two key numbers right there for you. Yeah, no, I'm actually. You had anything else to say?
no, that's it on this.
Yeah, I'm actually on the same boat as you. I'm taking the over here. I've already played it, um, and it's refreshing to see that 47 comes before 46. But I've already played the over here. My system points towards it. I have trends that point towards the under, but then I have my specific system that points towards the over. And this is a situation where I also think, I think the coaching's atrocious. I'm surprised Adam Gase still has a job. I definitely think Sam Darnold comes out. makes a statement, uses the weapons. I also think the Raiders might, start looking ahead because it's the Jets. Why would you focus on the Jets? I think they might look ahead a little early and focus on next week's game. I forget who it's against, but that might allow for some value there for the Jets. And given that I have two trends on the Jets and then also my system, which is phenomenal on the spread, has pointed towards the Jets, and then my specific system is also pointing on the Jets. I've also played the Jets. So right now on this game alone, I have the Jets in the over, which most people I feel like they're gonna go. Then they wouldn't necessarily take that, but here
Yeah, I
I'm
don't.
taking the Jets in the over.
More bets are definitely going to be placed on the Raiders over anything here. Same as last week. I think the Raiders
Yeah,
had like over 70% of the money in the bets on them against the Falcons because it
right.
seemed like such an obvious pick, and that's why I stayed away from it.
Yeah, and I should have thought about that last week. I don't know why I didn't. I mean, that's exactly what my reasoning was last week to take the Patriots plus 2.5. And I mean, that cash, they won the game outright. But I don't know
And
why I
same
didn't think of
situation.
that for the Raiders. And then I ended up taking the Raiders.
And honestly, same situation here, except I think the Jets are able to put up points, and that's why I just like the over a little bit more.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, I mean, I like the Jets here just because everything's agreeing for me on my side on the Jets, and then I like the over, mainly because like I agree with you. I think he's going to use his weapons, and I have my specific system showing the over, or my exclusive system showing the over, and then I have my my combination system showing the over as well. So I'm gonna sit there and take the over as well, and then like I said, it's refreshing because I didn't see the totals earlier, and I'm glad you brought that up. But I didn't see that when I played it, so for you to bring it up, and 47 does come before 46, so 46.5 is a great number for the over. Next game, Saints Falcons -3, 45.5. What do you got here?
It's just such another weird game for me. I think the Falcons are proving that they really aren't that bad of a team,
Yeah,
which I kind of expected before the season. Um, but with this, it's just the Saints defense is solid. Taysom Hill, eh.
yeah,
That's all I can really say. Eh.
yeah. I mean,
But
he's doing it, but he's only doing enough.
yeah, I do think I could like the over a little bit here. I could maybe even like the Falcons money line. I'm gonna be leaning the Falcons money line for now. I know
The
it's kind of
Falcons,
weird to say,
you keep
but
cutting out.
what'd you say?
You keep cutting out.
I don't know why it keeps doing that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe it's just on my side.
I don't know. It might be an internet issue, but anyway, I do like the Falcons lean here, and I
Okay.
might be taking the over because the Saints are still going to put up points. It's just they aren't going to have as much of a um as much of a big game, of course, as they if they had Breeze or what's that, Jameis Winston in.
Right. Yeah.
Taysom's a very run based. He takes stuff away from Kamara. They play at a slightly slower pace. I feel bad for anybody who has anybody on the Saints right now in fantasy because they're getting screwed out of points so
Right.
badly.
Yeah.
Taysom does everything himself.
No, I agree with that. For me, I mean, it's fairly simple. Again, I don't know where this line is sitting. I don't know why it's sitting there, but I also can't trust either team right now. My systems, they show the Falcons and they show the over. So I mean, I still don't have any leans here. But like you said, you like the over, so I'm just pointing out that my system also likes the over, or my systems like the over. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing for me to play here. I'm probably gonna stay away from this. I want to
Yep.
note that the line movement is towards the Falcons and the under. So take that as for what you want. But I mean, I'm staying away from this.
Yeah, definitely leaning the Falcons and the over for right now, but I do think the
Yeah.
Falcons money line does have a pretty good value on it.
Oh yeah, it does. It definitely does. And honestly, I feel like it depends on Julio. I mean, he's right now questionable to play because he still has his hamstring issue, and it's just been lingering around. Um, he may suit up, he may not. Apparently, he's game time decision. Honestly, if you want to buy the +3 right now, I don't think that's that half bad of a play. Because if he suits up, I mean, there's a good chance they win outright. If he doesn't suit up, then you still have a number at 3 to hope for. But
Right.
if you go for the money line, then you might want him to suit up. I mean, they could still probably work without him, It's just helpful to have him. I mean, they still have Livy and stuff, you know. So
Yeah, they're definitely functional without him. Of course, he just brings that extra element in.
right, yeah. At that point, I think the money line's a great play. If you were to buy right now and he suits up, I think it's a great play to buy.
Yeah, I mean,
But
usually I don't take plus threes. I don't know. That's just kind of my thing. I almost never take plus threes because at that point, I'd rather just take them to win for the added value to it.
yeah, that's fair. That's
Because it's different than like a
fairly
6.5, 7.
yeah, very few games actually end at a margin of 2 or 1. At that point, you're really looking at either they're going to cover or they're going to win.
Cover
Very
very
few.
rarely at
I
one
mean,
or
they're going to lose the cover or they're going to win. Is
yeah,
what's going to happen at +3
basic.
because 2 and 1 hardly ever happen. So next game, Rams Cardinals -2.5, 48. What do you got here?
I still think the Rams are a very good team. Their defense is kind of insane.
Right.
I don't think Kyler and the Cardinals have been as impressive the last few weeks, which I'm sure plays into this line a little bit. But I'm honestly a kind of a big Goff guy. I love the coaching over at the Rams, and I know that the public kind of doesn't like the Rams. Like, would you agree with me that the public usually fades the Rams a little bit?
Yeah.
Just to make sure that Goff was bad last year. It's a Los Angeles team, so they're all like,
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of Rams slander.
So as of right now, I'm probably going to be leaning that Rams -2.5 just because I think that defense is definitely able to shut out or not shut out, but definitely shut them down a little bit, slow them down. But Kyler does have a lot of options to score, which is probably my only issue with it.
Right, yeah, and I'm on the same boat as you. I'm actually leaning the Rams as well. For me, my trends show the Cardinals, but then my system shows the Rams, and so I'm kind of at a divide there. But the line movements have been towards the Rams, and then on top of that, I'm a believer in Goff as well. I do think they have a pretty nasty defense that's just hasn't. It's not that it hasn't shown up. It's just that it hasn't gotten the attention that it deserves. Um, that being said, I don't think there's much being taken into account when it comes to the line. When it comes to the Rams defense and stuff. And that being said, I think that's being underrated here. I do like the Rams to cover here, but again, I'm just leaning just because my bad, just because my trend is actually a very strong trend that's pointing towards the Cardinals. I think it's like a 64% trend, 65, something like that. And so I don't want to just fade it yet unless I could find something on the Rams that can sort of balance that out. If that's the case, then I'll probably be taking the Rams in the morning. But as of right now, I'm just leaning the Rams.
Yeah, I agree. Just a lean for right now, but I'm probably going to think about it a little bit more and then probably take them.
Yeah, I mean it's that and what was the play I gave earlier? Oh, that and the Dolphins are very much likely to become plays by the end of or by morning time. Or I think the Dolphins under is what I said. And so we'll see if they become plays. I mean, if I find something enough on them, they're gonna become plays, or if there's more line movement. I mean, I don't see how you can move better than -2.5. I mean, that's a field goal in most games and at 3 points.
Yeah, that's
So
the other thing. I see the 2.5 and I love it just already.
yeah, I mean, like I said, and I've brought this up multiple times. The biggest margin of victory, or the most probable margin of victory, is 3 points. So that's a great line. Seahawks -10.5 versus the Giants 47. What do you got here?
So Daniel Jones is out, correct?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, that just means I'm probably going to be staying away entirely from this game. Now that the Giants backup will have reps this week, I'm a little bit scared of it just because the Seahawks really aren't impressive looking at all right now.
Right.
They look that good against the Eagles besides the second quarter where they went crazy for two or three touchdowns or 7 points, something like that. I don't really have much to say about it just because Daniel Jones is out. Besides that, the defense is all right. So that may mean the under might be a safe look just because the Giants, even against one of the worst defenses of all time, I don't know if they'll be able to put up points. When the Giants QB was in last week for the last quarter and a half, whatever it was, he really couldn't even get a first down.
Right. So, I mean, you're staying away for those reasons, but that's exactly why I'm playing it. And so I mean I agree with you, but I'm playing it instead. I'm playing the Seahawks -10. So I
Oh,
know the line's at -10.5 right now, but again, by that half point, get it down to minus. I mean, you're going to get it at -120. The reason I say that is because I'm going to share the screen again with you, and this is about margins. This is a simple look at margins of victory, and you see 10 is that it's the third most probable margin. So that 10.5, I never liked those 10.5s. But I'm going to take that -10 at -120. That's the play I'm playing on this game. I do like them to cover. I have two trends showing the Seahawks, and they're both pretty like strong trends. I think the worst of them is 61%. So I like that. And then my systems are also showing the Seahawks, and like I said, I mean my systems have been killing it on the spread, so I'm going to give that some weight. And then the match starter, the the opening line was -10. And so the line movement has been very slightly towards the Seahawks with that half point, with that hook being added on. But just buy down the hook if you haven't already bought -10. From seeing it somewhere else. If you haven't done that, buy that hook, get it down to -10 for -120. I could potentially keep seeing this, build up to -11, maybe even -11.5.
yeah, it'll probably keep moving until kickoff, I bet.
Right. Yeah, I 100% think so. I think the Seahawks are very favored here. My only concern is the Seahawks have had multiple close games, so that's like the one thing I'm nervous about. But yeah, I think they'll be fine here. I think the Giants are a decent team with Daniel Jones in. They're not. I mean, they're not decent. They're decent. They're decent to me.
Yeah, they're decent.
Um, but I mean, without Daniel Jones, you're just not looking at a good team. I mean, it's a trash can team. So on Seahawks -10 is the play there, not -10.5, -10 for -120. Um, Next game, Chargers Patriots -1.5, 47 total. What do you got here?
I honestly don't like the schedule at all this week. Every game just feels weird to me.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. That's exactly what I was feeling when I was going through all my systems.
It's a wacko game, and I'm probably not going to bet it again. So
Same.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean, I have nothing to say here. Normally, I don't know what to take here, man. I mean,
Volatile. Some weeks they're scoring like crazy. Some weeks they can't score. Some weeks they're winning, and some weeks they're getting killed.
yeah, 100%. Um, I have a trend pointing towards the Patriots, and then my systems very lightly point towards the Chargers. So that kind of cancels out having one trend one way and then a very light, system indication the other way. Those cancel out, and then my systems point or they push on the total. I literally have no plays in terms of analytics, as far as just looking at the line and deciding what I want to take. I have nothing there either. Like you said, the Patriots are very volatile. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen in that game. Um, there's no reason to force a bet there, unless you're a fan of it, in which case fade your team. That's what I usually say. Um, that way, if you lose, you still win. But I mean, I don't see anything that I like there, so there's no play there for me. And you said there was no play for you there either, right? Next game, Packers -9 versus Eagles 49.5.
It's just another disgusting game, honestly.
Really?
Um, I know the Eagles have been really, 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 really bad. But I also think the Packers aren't as that good. And honestly, it could be any game now that Wentz finally just has that one game, and it definitely could be against the Packers secondary that is pretty below average from what I've heard. I don't know the exact statistics with their pass defense, but I think they are ranked a little bit lower. So if I'm looking at this, I might be thinking about the over, but that's just a lean for right now. Besides that, I really don't have anything else in this game. Oh, the over is the only thing I'd be considering.
Okay. I'm actually taking the Packers here, and I've already played it. Um, you're right. Carson Wentz could have that game, and it could very well come against the Packers. But I'm going to believe that he's going to stay on his little trend of bad play. I don't think. I mean, I have no reason to believe he's going to come out of his slump anytime soon. For that purpose, I think -9 is a great number with the Packers. I have two trends showing the Packers. My systems point towards the Packers. And if that wasn't enough, I mean, it's very slight line movement, but it's shown towards the Packers and the over. So, you said you lean the over, and, fortunately for you, my systems also point towards the over. Um, I think the over is a decent play there too. I'm not leaning it or anything like that. I'm gonna try to stay away from the total because it really, in my opinion, the over or the over under will come down to what the Eagles can do. Personally, in my opinion,
Yep.
right now they're projecting the Eagles to score 20 points, and they're projecting the Packers to score 29. Problem
It's
is,
a
I
bit-
don't expect. I mean, I'm not at all worried about Packers being able to put up 29. I think they're more than capable of putting up 29. They might even go further than that. Question is, can the Eagles? Um, and if Carson Wentz plays like he should, or he's known to play in the past, then great, great. But I mean, recently he's not been that guy.
yeah,
I don't see anything here for the Eagles taking Packers -9 there.
if Wentz just has an average game, I think the over hits pretty easily just because
Oh
the Packers
yeah,
are putting up points no matter what.
right.
It really just comes down to if Wentz is able to get more than 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree with that. Honestly, the over and potentially even the line, it boils down to how the Eagles play. But I think the over under is a little bit more relying on the Eagles versus the Packers -9. I mean, whether the Eagles play well or not, they could still cover. Just depending on how well the Packers play, and I'm willing to bet my money that the Packers are going to play just fine, and the Eagles are just going to play as normal or as as bad as they usually do. So I'm taking the Packers -9 there. Already played it.
Yes.
Um,
I'm so right now I'm probably leaning the over, but this might be one of those
right.
games where if I'm up a couple units just from the early afternoon games, then I might play this. If I'm down like 2 or 3 units already, this might be one of those games I just stay away from again,
That
just so
makes
I don't chance losing it anymore.
right. That makes sense.
Because it could get a little weird, even though I do like the over and do possibly like the Packers spread.
You do like the Packers spread.
Possibly. I do think the over is the bet for me right now if I was going to take anything.
Okay. Next game, Chiefs Broncos -13.5, total 51. What do you have here?
Broncos have Drew Lock back, right?
I
They all,
believe so.
I believe they all passed the requirements from the
Yeah.
protocol. Um, I don't really like taking the -13.5s, but the Broncos really just don't have anything. They don't really have a good defense. They don't have a good offense. They don't have anything that really stands out. Chiefs are definitely Super Bowl favorites again because they literally have everything.
Right.
Everything they have is good, and their offense is one of the most elite of all time. Um, so I probably will be taking the Chiefs -13.5. For
Mhm.
some reason, it does seem a little bit low to me,
Yeah.
which scares me a little bit, especially with it being a divisional opponent, because those could
Mhm.
definitely be closer and flip ways a lot. I mean, look at the Raiders and the Chiefs. But it's hard to see Drew Lock and the Broncos really being able to put up too many points.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, I'm sitting up in the same boat as you. I personally also think the line's pretty low, which kind of scares me a little bit because usually when that's the case, there's something fishy going on, and Vegas knows something that we don't, and then it doesn't cover. But I mean, I've already played the Chiefs -13.5 and the under. I've also played the under. I don't think the Broncos just play too well in this game. I have trends pointing towards the under and the Chiefs, and then my systems point towards the under and the Chiefs. So this is like a very it was well agreed by my looks. But yeah, I like the Chiefs here and the under here. Basically, the projections for this game are 32 and 8 or 19. Um, of course, more key numbers around that situation are 31 and 20.
Excuse
And
me.
in that situation, I think 31 and 20 the the total pushes, so I'm fine with pushing the total there, but that spread covers. But I do think it's more likely that the Broncos put up somewhere around 17 and 16, which are also key
Definitely.
numbers, and in that case, the under hits fairly well. But yeah, I like the Chiefs in the under here. You said you like the Chiefs as well, right?
Yeah, probably. There's nothing exciting about the Broncos to me. But the one thing I do realize I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm getting a bad itch in my throat right now. Oh, geez, I hope I don't have COVID. But anyway, um, for this game, the over under seems a little bit high to me, especially with that type of spread. So they must expect the Broncos to put up a decent amount of points, and then the Chiefs to go 30 plus, right?
Yeah, they have Chiefs at 32, and they have the Broncos at 19, pretty much, is what they're projecting this to be.
Yeah, I agree with you. It definitely seems a little too high to me.
What, the total?
Hmm.
Yeah, it is a little high right there, and that's why I'm liking the under there. Like I said, 19 is much more likely to be 20, 17, or 16, and I mean 32 is much more likely to be 31. 32
Yeah,
doesn't even make like the top 15 points
I don't even
scored, and
the team.
31 to 8 most points scored.
I don't even know how you
So
would
yeah, I
get
mean
to
31 is a much better number there.
4
Uh,
touchdown safeties
for what?
to get to 32.
Oh yeah, it's a weird number, man. Um, I don't know why they projected it there. Steelers Washington minus. Okay, first of all, I didn't see this on the sites anymore. So I'm wondering if it's off the board or what happened to this. But Steelers minus 7 versus Washington, total
Maybe they're
43.5. Do you see
maybe
it on your site?
stuff going on in the inside that's not public yet.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't understand why it's off the board.
Um.
Do you see it on your side or no? Or is that just
Oh yeah,
me?
I see the little banner. Is that what you're talking about?
No, on your side, on your
Oh,
odds or whatever.
let me check.
Because I didn't see it on my side. So I'm wondering if it's off the board. While you check that, I'll go ahead and talk about this game from my perspective. I think the Steelers are the most overrated 11-0 team. They're not. They're better than 11-0, right?
No, I think they are 11-0 right
Okay.
now.
Yeah, no, they're the most overrated 11-0 team. Um, I mean, frankly, their run defenses in the bottom five. And I was looking at a bunch of statistics posted by somebody on Twitter. I forget who. I really wish I remember so I could have shout them out. But yeah, I was looking at all these statistics and their defensive ratings versus Washington's, run or rushing yards and everything. Basically, Washington was a near top 10 team in all these rushing categories, whereas the Steelers were a bottom 10 team. And then on top of the passing, when it came to passing, the Steelers were just mid, and then Washington was mid. And so the point that was being made was that they're not too far off, and Steelers might be the most overrated team, and they're pulling a lot of public money because of the fact that they're undefeated. Um, and I completely agree with that. And fact of the matter is, my system sort of agree as well. My exclusive system, which beautifully enough fits this game, is showing a pretty strong lean towards fading. So taking Washington here, and then it's showing a pretty strong lean on the over as well. So basically, I mean, what I expect to happen is I think the Steelers score. I'm not going to say they don't score. I think Washington keeps up with them. Right now, the score projections for the Steelers Washington game right now is 25 to 18. I definitely think Washington puts up more than 18 points as far as the Steelers with their 25 points go. I think that's a fair estimate of where they're going to be around. Um, honestly, I think Washington is live here. I think Washington could be the first team to beat them. Um, I I think it's well known that I do think Washington's a pretty decent team.
Yeah, they're
I've said it multiple times on our show. I don't think they're half bad as people make them out to be. I mean, especially given their whole, new coaching atmosphere and, a new offense and, with all the injuries and Alex Smith returning and, Antonio Gibson being some star-studded guy apparently. They got a lot going on, and I would expect, a team not to look good through those faults and everything like that. But I think this is the game that they could potentially just outright win, and I definitely like them to cover. I like Washington to cover, and I like that over. I think 43.5 is a little too low for this game. If this is what the line remains, of course. Do you see it on your do you see it on your side?
Um, no, I don't see the Ravens games or the Steelers games for Monday.
Yeah. Okay. I don't even know about the Ravens game. Hopefully that didn't get pulled either. But yeah, I didn't see the Steelers game, so I hope when it comes back on the board, I hope the lines are the same. I have yet to play these, but I made them plays right before getting on the show, so I really hope they didn't go off the board, or else I'm gonna have to respond with another play here. But I mean,
Yeah,
like I said, I expect Washington to win. So even if it drops down to like +5.5 or something like that, I might still play it, but I'm not sure. But yeah, what were you saying?
I do think Washington football team is a pretty solid team. Of course, they're in the rebuilding process right now, and once they're ready to, they're going to get another quarterback. But I think for right now, Alex Smith's pretty serviceable for
Right.
his last before he retires. The over is definitely in play. It's just the Steelers shut down teams like crazy.
Yeah, they do have a really good like. I mean, they have a. Go ahead. What were you saying? Sorry.
This could definitely be a player prop game. Gibson rushing yards could definitely be a factor because you said the Steelers haven't been that good against the run, correct?
No, yeah, they haven't. According to the statistics I saw, and like I
Yeah,
said, I really wish I remember the at of the person I saw it off of because I would really love to give them a shout out right now. But
yeah. Right now, I'll be leaning the over, but I'm probably going to be taking some player props in this game, especially with
some prop
Gibson.
plays.
Yeah,
Okay, because you cut off right there, so I wanted to just confirm what you said.
prop plays probably some stuff with Gibson, and I'll probably check some running back reception statistics just because I know the Steelers' pass game's very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in on that with you. I know whenever we get together, we pretty much kill the prop plays. I think we've only lost like two or three ever, and we've won like 6 or 7. And we
Yeah,
know what to look for. So I mean, I'll jump onto that with you if you're down tomorrow.
the Thanksgiving Day games we did very well. I went 6-1 with the props. I believe you went like
I think
six
I went,
and
yeah,
two or something like that. And then again this past week with the Eagles and the Eagles Seahawks and the Bears versus the Packers. We went perfect in both of
oh,
those
you've
games.
been killing the props, Loki.
Oh yeah, dude, I've been an absolute monster on the props in the
Yeah,
primetime games.
you should definitely have props for the next week's show, or at
Yeah,
least for the Thursday game next
I'm on
week.
a 10-1 run with the props right now. So I'll probably be posting a few of them for games tomorrow. It's just I haven't looked into individual things for every single game yet.
Yeah, I heard it here. Y'all heard it here. He's gonna be posting props. So there's his at right there in that little banner at Burnsy Bets. That's how you spell it. Um,
Oh
give him a follow if you want to prop plays. Um, I don't have much to say on this game anymore.
no, that's it for me as well.
But all right, so next game, 49ers -1 versus the Bills, 47 total. What do
I'm
you got here?
surprised that the 49ers are favored here.
Yeah, right. It's
Surprising them.
confusing me. A
Like,
lot of weird lines this week for sure. A lot of weird lines.
well, I think the thing with the 49ers is they have pretty much a very good chunk of their team back healthy now.
Yeah,
Like their defense is back to being extremely good, even without Bosa. Um, and they got a few guys on offense back, I believe. They pretty much have everybody except for some guys like Kittle and Bosa at this point as their star players. But I've been riding the Bills all year. I still have them to win their division,
yeah.
and they'll probably end up going Bills money line, just because I think the
Money line.
Bills are contenders. Yeah, probably the Bills money line. I don't see a point in taking a Bills +1.
Yeah, no, you just cut off, so I just wanted to confirm that's what you
Oh
said.
yeah. So yeah, as of right now, I'll be leaning Bills, and I most likely will be taking them just because I've been a Bills fanboy this year.
Yeah, honestly, I've been on the Bills quite a bit too. I like how they play. I have Josh Allen on my dynasty team. I have Josh Allen in both my redraft leagues. I mean, I'm a huge guy. I'm a huge Josh Allen fan right now. Um, but this line is putting me off the wrong way, and anytime I have this itch that like something, some Vegas knows something that I don't, I stay away, and usually I'm right. That still doesn't warrant to play 49ers -1, but I mean, I'm staying away from this game for the time being. unless some information comes out or something gets made public that sort of gives insight as to why the line is -1. Unless that happens, I'm staying away. I have trends pointing towards the under, and then my systems push on the total. The spread, as far as the spread goes, I have a tie. I have a spread for the 49 or trend for the 49ers. I have a trend for the Bills. I mean, and then my systems barely support the 49ers there. Um, I do want to note my exclusive system, however, is showing the Bills. So it kind of backs up what you're saying. It shows the Bills, but it's also not showing it so heavily to where I can warrant a play in this game. So unless things change or unless like line movement happens or something of that nature, um, I'm probably going to be staying away from it. And so far, up until now, I do want to point out that the line movement has been towards the under. So that's just going back to my trend on the under. If somebody wants to play the under there, there you go. I'm not giving it out as a lean nor as a play. But yeah, I mean it's a very interesting game. This is the Monday night game, so I think by Monday night we'll have a little bit more insight. And worst case, it becomes a prop game for us. I'll call you Monday and we'll figure it out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. As of right now, I'm staying away.
Yeah, I mean these Monday games I don't place the bets until like a few hours before kickoff anyway, so I haven't put too much thought into it.
Right.
But looking at the numbers, I do that under definitely is a possibility just because of the 49ers offense struggles against the I'd say decent Bills defense. They're
Right.
not as good as they were the last 2 years defensively.
Yeah,
But
I don't know what happened.
and then the Bills offense into the 49ers defense might also give them some troubles as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it'll be
Some
an
prime
interesting game to say
games.
at the very least.
And then you have to remember in primetime games, it's very public heavy because everybody's betting on it because it's the one big game of the day.
Right.
So and that will favor the overs and the favorites usually.
Yeah, and so hopefully, with that line movement going towards the under and the trend showing the under, if the line moves up a little, I might play the under there. Remember back to that 47 number. We brought that up earlier with I forget what game, but I remember the total was 46 and a half, and we cited that 47 is a key number. I mean, right now it's sitting at a key number. If it goes up to 47 and a half, it might just be a play towards that 47 and under. Um, as of right, or next game, Ravens -7 versus the Cowboys 45. What do you got here?
100% staying away. The game doesn't make sense to me.
So here's the thing with me. I was going to stay away, and then my exclusive system heavily kicked out the Ravens in the over. And so now I'm leaning it because, like I said, I was going to stay away, and just because one system, even if it's my most prized one, um, even though it's kicking out the Ravens in the over, I'm not going to warrant a play yet. Especially because my other systems are showing the under and the under and the Cowboys, and so I'm not playing anything yet. But it's a Tuesday game, and so by the time the game rolls around, line movements happen, whatever else happens, information comes out on either one of the teams. I mean, it most likely will be a play for Tuesday night, but as of right now, I'm leaning Ravens and over. I do want to note that just because I'm leaning Ravens or over and over does not mean that I won't switch to Cowboys and under. So don't go ahead and go playing those games just because I said I lean them. But I mean, as of right now, I'm leaning Ravens or over and over.
I mean, I think everybody's going to be leaning the Ravens spread at this point. The Cowboys are just awful. And
Oh,
the
yeah,
Ravens,
like I said against the Vikings though,
oh,
and
yeah, true. And the Ravens are, I mean, of course, if you would think a very good team, but they've just been so confusing.
100%, man. I mean, they're losing games they should win, and they're not covering a majority of their games. I think.
Yeah, I don't think they're covering well at all this year.
Yeah, so I would be a little nervous taking the Ravens, but I feel like that's a little bit. There's a little indication of that on the line. Personally, I think the line would have been a little bit higher, and I know seven's a key number. Still thought it would be a little bit higher, but because I don't see the Cowboys stopping Lamar Jackson as long as he gets to get on his feet, and I think the game's in Dallas if I'm not wrong. Oh no,
Actually,
it's
I
in
was
Baltimore. It's in
the
Baltimore.
Ravens. The Ravens against the spread this year are 5-5, while the Cowboys are 2-9.
Okay, so yeah, again, Ravens minus 7.5. Never mind. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it comes back to the Ravens minus 7.5. So I'm leaning it, and I'm leaning the over. I said, yeah, the over. I mean, right now I'm gonna look at the Vegas projections real quick of this game. It's basically saying 26 and 19. Um, First of all, I think the Ravens are more than capable of putting up more than 26 points. The question is, will they? But I think they are, and I think they will. Uh, Cowboys 19. I think that's a very low projection, especially with I mean Andy Dalton is back, and I think they have a pretty decent offense. The question just remains about their defense, and I think their offense will just do fine. Um, 19, I think, is a low projection for the Cowboys. So, I mean, the spread, in my analysis of the Vegas projection, I think the spread is a little bit more concerning to play, but the over should be a play. But right now, again, I'm just leaning it, and we'll see how it comes along. By the time Tuesday rolls around, we'll probably have plays on, or I'll probably have plays on them. Any closing statements on that game?
No, not really. It's just the only thing I'd be thinking about is the Ravens. I wouldn't take the Cowboys at all in any scenario. If I thought the Cowboys had a chance to cover, then I wouldn't even play the game.
That's fair. So yeah, I mean that was the last game on the card for everybody. If you stuck it out this far, thank you for your support. Leave a like and comment on what you thought about the show. Let us know if you agree or disagree on any of the plays and why. We're always looking to get better and get more insightful about our games as well and about our capping. So please let us know why. And again, be sure to follow both of us so you don't miss out on leads that turn into plays. And again, we will give out prop plays and stuff like that. So you could, and we've been killing it. So you could potentially make quite a bit of money on that. Best of luck on your bets, and once again, thank you for sticking it out. Bernsey, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, if you decide to tail any of our picks, definitely let us know in the comments. That's probably my favorite thing about running a
Oh
Twitter
yeah,
account. People actually
you
say,
do.
yeah, if people say that they're taking this bet or if they're taking this one, and then if you win it, then I personally get excited because I help someone win.
Yeah,
So definitely let us know.
definitely a good feeling. All right, well, everybody, thank you for watching once again. Good luck on your bets. Have a nice Sunday, I guess, the same day.